Hey, WokeNFree Nation, Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 304th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week we're asking the question, is there a double standard for male versus female cosmetic surgery? So much to cover there. But before we dive deep into that subject, we are going to go through the following. So first, have you not only gone to WokeNFree.com to listen to this episode, but have you downloaded it through the Podbean app? If not, please do so immediately, because if you have the app and you download the episode, then you can put in your comments and you can tell us, what do you think about cosmetic surgery when it's female versus male procedures? Lots to talk about. So we are very curious to hear your thoughts on it. Also, if you listen to podcasts on a device where you can't put another app on it, like the Podbean app, there's a couple of tiers that will be shed. But fret not, you still can support us deeply by making sure you follow and subscribe WokeNFree on any of the platforms that you listen to podcasts on. So you'll find us on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world where most podcasts are consumed. You will find this show. So make sure you do that. On WokeNFree.com, you also can click to subscribe to follow the show through the Podbean app. And on social media, always find the time and the fun to engage with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And if you have 90 seconds, which is more of a statement, less of a question, because you know you have it, please go to WokeNFree.com, go on the listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you're going to review the show at. We want to know how the show is feeding into your life and what you enjoy the most. And thank you in advance for the 5-star reviews. With that, I'm going to kick it to you, Khalil.
Before we start this great conversation, we like to share a little bit about ourselves. This week, we are asking, do you say caramel or caramel?
Another pointless question. Wonderful. So
would this be pointless? This kind of gets people to know how you pronounce things. How's that pointless?
Exactly.
Oh, that's all right. I don't know. I don't know what, like.
So maybe you're a caramel.
You know what I thought about this after all these episodes. What's the difference between something that has a point and something that's pointless?
I guess we can ask Satan when we meet him.
No, but couldn't that be a whole episode deciding what is a pointed episode?
What is
pointless?
Yes. What is the point to podcasting?
Well, no, that's a different. The exact episode is
point or pointless.
What is pointed and what is pointless?
Nice. Very nice.
How do people know?
Look how you're dodging the question too.
What do people think actually has a point and what doesn't have a point, and what's the rubric? How do we get to that answer?
It's subjective, obviously.
Oh no! So now you're saying that. So then,
it's still endless subjectiveness.
It's still interesting. It's a philosophical question.
Well, we can add it to the list for sure. So to answer your question, I say caramel, because caramel to me never sits right. But how about you?
I mean, I agree. I only heard caramel like very few times, and it sounds weird. It sounds like a different type of ice cream or something. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't make me think of what it actually is. And I think caramel is actually just it's like melted sugar actually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Caramel it makes it sound like it's something else. It's something that doesn't seem kind of cosmetic in nature. But of course it isn't. But the thing is there a double standard for male versus female cosmetic surgery?
what we are here to discuss. Absolutely, because there is a double standard when it comes to beauty between both genders. Essentially, there's a really cool article that you can check out on LinkedIn that kind of dives in to sharing kind of I think something that is pretty familiar for all of us, but some of the phrases I thought that was like very poignant is when you see an older or aging man, what is the word that comes to mind? Distinguish. When we see an aging woman, is that the same type of tone or term that comes to mind? No, right? Usually,
so this is interesting. I mean, this is just to get into just the science of it. And one thing that happens that is different than men and women is menopause.
Yes.
Like, women have menopause, but the menopause it's a lot. It like does a lot on you. So one thing that it also does, it makes your face start to sag more.
Have you looked that up, or are you?
I saw that. No, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't realize that. But menopause can actually cause basically like signs of aging. So women that go through menopause will often experience that, and it'll be like, oh man, I want to look, younger. So I'll do that. But men, we don't go through any sort of
interesting,
like an aggressive aging or.
Outside of your pot bellies and
but that's all that's self-inflicted, right? Menopause isn't self-inflicted,
well, yeah,
right?
That's a natural.
You can't even say
affairs,
I was doing everything I was supposed to do, but now this happened. Women have it a little bit harder in terms of the aging department because you will. I think
go through a biological process.
I'm not. I can't say for sure, but I think all women go through menopause. Like I don't.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if you don't have. Like if you have a hysterectomy, I'm not sure if you still technically go through menopause. Or
see, I'm not.
But
I don't know.
I'd have to speak to a doctor.
I didn't look into that,
yeah.
but that's one thing to keep in mind, though, too.
But yeah, so in our society and in our media, older men are viewed differently than older women, and so that in and of itself plays a role into when you think then about cosmetic surgery, how men who receive it versus female receiving it. I think our society would seem it as women doing it is seemingly like, yes, like you should, right? To avoid the inevitable.
Look as young as possible, right?
Exactly. But with men, it does seem like, I don't want to say it's mocked
men are like
per se,
wine.
But it's like, it's like because so few men have cosmetic surgery that it's, I think, kind of not treated as accepted as when women have it, because women are constantly.
Because the thing is, men can't even talk about it. Or, I mean,
well, they really
maybe
don't.
They could, but they don't. I mean, we don't know, right? It's not.
And when they do,
happen.
it's. I don't know. It seems more like
there's a
shock
joke,
factor.
Or they're like, you really did that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Than when women do it, which is interesting.
Women, it's just considered that's just common practice. I mean, you do that, of course you do. So I agree that it's definitely for men. It's talked about less, and technically men do have it much less. We don't hear about the cosmetic surgeries that men even go through, though. So, because I'm thinking of the entertainment industry. Like, come on, if we really think about it, you think none of these men ever had any cosmetic surgery? Of
course they have, yeah.
In the entertainment industry, we know they have.
Of course.
It's just not really talked about. But, a thing to take into account, and these are numbers, these are hard numbers, only about over 8% of total surgeries in the U.S. and U.K. have been from men for cosmetic surgeries.
92% are women.
Yeah, so like the rest percent is women. So we'll just think about those numbers first of all, and it's been like that for the last 10 years. Even though it's on the rise now, men are more and more getting cosmetic surgeries.
Absolutely.
It's mostly done by women. It's just like as you said, and those numbers are from Kane and Amar in their cosmetic surgery in men. I guess it was an article they wrote, but you can see the links in our podcast.
On the episode, yeah.
And then A-Edit brings up some other points, and the first point they bring up is that cosmetic surgery, it has cultural misconceptions of what it is and who gets it. So people don't really know what is cosmetic surgery.
Well, it's a broad term, right?
Yeah.
Like, does that include fillers? Does that only include...
Yeah, see, because
what
about Botox?
Facelift or Botox? Yeah, like what is
the
barrier to entrance?
So people don't really know what it is and
because procedure. I've heard cosmetic procedure versus cosmetic surgery as well.
It can get very confusing, the terms. A second thing they bring up is that men fear that people will know that they had cosmetic surgery. I mean, I don't know if that's a fear of women. I'm not sure about that research, but
it depends on the woman.
It's a thing. Like men, it's at the top of mind. Hey, do people know that I did something different? And a third thing that I saw in their article was that men want different results than women. And it makes sense.
Of course,
they actually,
it's a different type of procedures they're getting, probably.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll get onto that, right? But they want a masculine blend with their existing features, so I guess that's the difference in terms
to be young and male, like strong man type.
Yeah,
of
they want they want to increase their masculinity. They don't want to increase their femininity, right?
Yeah.
So at least for these cosmetic procedures.
All right, well then that leads us to then talking right into what's the top cosmetic surgeries that males and females have. So I think you have some interesting info, right?
It surprised me. I mean, this is according to Very Well Health. The number one thing was liposuction.
For both?
Well, for men.
For men, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I looked up males.
Okay, so for men.
So I made it. All right.
So that's so shocking.
Here.
I didn't know that men have liposuction. I recently heard about some man doing it, and I was like, wow.
I knew men have liposuction, but I didn't know that's the number one surgery that they opt for.
That's interesting. That's super interesting.
But I guess...
So they're sucking out the fat like us women. Okay.
Yeah, but I guess when they're doing it, they're probably trying to,
get the
toning. Yeah. The next thing is that this makes sense to me is the male breast reduction.
I mean, I don't want to laugh, but yeah.
You can't laugh at that. It's a real thing. The breasts form because you get more of those with estrogen. Your estrogen increases technically when you get more fat cells.
Estrogen is stored in fat. Yeah, so the more fat you have, the increased estrogen you have in your system.
It's a real thing to do. But the thing with this is, well, I get it. I understand if you just want to get that real chiseled look, but if you work out, it technically will go down.
But that's hard work though.
It
versus
is.
just
and
going under the surgery,
diet.
it's much easier.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it. The next thing is eyelid surgery.
To reduce like the extra eyelid skin. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, when you get old, I think
get more skin sags.
Yeah. So I think a lot of these have to do with age, and then the next thing is nose surgery. Actually, is a big one.
Fascinating. Just rhinoplasty. Okay.
Yeah, rhinoplasty, and the last was tummy tuck.
Now that's hilarious.
So tummy tuck is, I guess it's a little different than liposuction.
No, because the tummy tuck, I think it's like cutting off a part of the fat deposits. Like, sometimes in your stomach, if you have
it's all about your stomach.
Like the roll, deposit. Right? Like you can pull off.
It's about getting that out, okay.
Versus
liposuction is pulling fat from anywhere, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So
it's a specific
liposuction makes sense then for the man because guess what? Because a lot of these men, I mean, and they want a six pack, right? I mean, a lot of people want six pack, but men, we're expected to have a six pack.
Oh yeah,
if you can as a man. So I can definitely number one makes sense when you think about it in terms of
it does actually
the end goal
now. Yeah,
because liposuction because it's from anywhere. It's not just the stomach.
True. Yep. Okay. So I found on BaraAesthetics.com, they spoke to again that 92% women. 8% men have these surgeries, which is interesting. And they say also that the number of procedures has risen in key demographics, such as 30 to 39, which is where we sit, and 55 and older, which is interesting. Something to think about.
That's where it's been rising.
Yeah, I actually thought it was going to be more in the 20s because it seems like there's so many young people now who are really like gung-ho about it, but also there's a cost to this. So maybe, definitely.
Or maybe they're just better at Photoshop.
True facts. True facts, yeah.
Do we need to get this procedure or just...
Yeah.
Up our editing game.
And since you talked about male surgeries, I can hop to, in this article, they talked about the most popular female surgeries, according to 2019 stats, which is breast augmentation, that makes sense, liposuction, eyelid surgery,
see the interesting.
Nose reshaping, and tummy tuck. So that's so fascinating that women and men are pretty much getting like the same
thing. It's the same thing, though.
That is hilarious.
So, it's interesting that the eyelid surgery is so big because, I don't know, it's
because you get the extra skin on the eyes, though. That's
but I feel like that's talked about like much less than everything else. Because even
tummy
tucks come up much more than eyelid surgery.
Rhinoplasty, they talk about tummy tucks, they talk about lipo. I've never heard anyone
says,
talk about,
I got
my eyelid. Now, I've heard facelift. Now,
to
me, I'm surprised that facelift isn't on this list. But, maybe it's like number 6 or something.
Is a facelift invasive surgery or is it
yes, because they're cutting off like a part of the skin and then they're pulling it up and then reattaching. And it's kind of really intense.
So what surprised me
what I remember from Nip Tuck.
And I remember this is what surprised me about the men because it is a surgery done, but I guess it's not the top one. Is that the hair transplant?
I thought you were gonna go a different way.
No, that one I knew wasn't gonna be as big. I know what you're thinking about. That's not as big. That's not. I knew that was gonna be that big. Because that one's not FDA approved.
Oh, God.
Or, I said FDA, but I forgot who's supposed to approve it. Stop. I don't know who's supposed to approve it, but not the FDA, but
Definitely not the fitted man. Oh God!
no. See, you said, come on. Maybe say the wrong.
Oh God!
I don't know.
Oh my God!
What's the medical guy?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not sure. It's there's something with the medical administrations.
Oh man, it
might
escapes
be
me for some reason. I don't know.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
But either way, I thought the hair transplant would be a bigger thing. That's interesting to me. But
you know what? I feel like they used to talk more about hair transplants back in the 90s, but
then Rogaine came out.
Facts.
These are good stuff.
1,000%. There have been some wonderful developments, with these products that now grow your hair. And then also, what's that spray thing? People play it at the 11 o'clock night shows.
Wait, not the... now where you spray paint your hair on.
Yeah.
That is not a permanent fix, though.
Who says it needs to be permanent? It's about making sure
That's
you look good,
point.
though.
No, this is the whole point.
Keep spraying.
The whole point is you don't want to worry about, looking younger.
Don't go in the sun.
Don't go in the... I mean, you're saying different stuff.
That's really hard for Arizona.
I don't think that controls your hair growth.
No, but you'll sweat and then the paint will melt.
Oh, you're talking about that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh man, is the
I'm
paint?
not sure.
Can you sweat it out? I mean, I'm wondering. Is that a real? Oh no, I don't know.
To me, that's what I would imagine. That you spray it, and then what if you sweat? Does that stuff leak down your face? That would really be embarrassing.
I know. I mean,
I would really suck too.
I'm not gonna call out somebody, but I know someone who tried it, and it was not a good look.
You're so foul.
It did leak down. I'm not saying I won't give any clues because that's not right.
But the person listening is probably knowing that you're talking about it.
They may know. Yeah, if they listen to this episode, they'll know I'm talking about them. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to because I'm not gonna throw them under the bus.
But you keep talking about it.
But I'm just thinking it did leak, but it wasn't from heat though.
Oh God, help me.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I can't speak on it, but yeah, don't do the spray.
Nice.
Well,
don't say that. Do whatever you need to do to feel good about yourself in this world that is not going to cause immense danger.
Because what if they want to if they want to run an ad on our podcast? I don't want to count them out.
They
might work.
All
I don't know.
Hairspray companies.
But the thing with the cosmetic thing is they actually take hair from the back of your head and they move it to the front.
So what happens to the back hair then? You have no back hair?
This is what's crazy. No, they can take up to half of it and you can't even tell that they took it. Isn't that nuts? That's
wild.
how thin the human hair follicle is. That's
incredible.
They can transplant hair from your back and put it to the front and you won't even know that.
I like that were you thinking about this?
It wasn't this is research all for the episode. I wasn't thinking. I mean, I'm not going to do it if when that time comes, I'm just gonna have to I'm gonna do the rock.
When alopecia sits in.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do the rock and I'll just go all in and just say bald. See, I know you're making it a hard transition, but that day may come. I'll either hold on to the life strings. I'll hold on to whatever.
The life strings.
Yeah, I'll hold on to it, or I'll just say it's too late. Give it up.
This is a serious episode.
I know. Give up the ghost. It's give up the ghost, or I'll
give up the ghost.
Yeah, because I mean a lot of men want to hold on to the hair they have, but if it goes, some give it up, some say nope to the very end.
Listen. I appreciate The Rock and LL Cool J. Yeah,
LL rocks it.
I mean, I don't know.
The only thing my problem is, yeah, that's why they invented hats.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, no matter what it looks like.
Rock a hat.
I will sleep in a hat and I'll wake up in a hat.
Keep it moving.
if need be, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter.
But for Halloween, maybe you can do a good scare.
Yes.
Oh, wear your wigs, you mean?
No, I can paint faces on my head.
Horrifying.
So that's the one benefit to being bald then. There's many benefits.
You are a hot mess.
No, but I just thought about that. That'd be so cool because I could have a face in the back of my head. Imagine if I tatted it on there. I wouldn't do that, but I could tat a head on.
Why not just do henna every month? Do a different henna pattern.
Oh, I can use temporary tattoos on my head.
Yep.
See, it's not that. See, people say it's
so bad. I
hope
you put affirmations on the top of your head.
Yeah, you could do. There's so much you can. Oh, but
I envision peeing on myself.
But I'll say you got to be careful because I know certain employers might not appreciate you putting stuff on your head. So make sure your employer's okay with it. I know I can do that.
Zoom, you're not, dipping your head in.
But then you think about remote work. But I'm saying if you're in person, I don't think you can just do anything with your head. But certain people do have options to do anything to their head.
If you happen to participate in a religious group that allows you to wrap your head, then no one knows.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah. Oh,
So,
you're right.
there you go.
Well, technically, you can always have a wrap too. So technically, you can do anything.
You can live your best life and do it.
Oh no, but the Hair Act is not a federal law.
The
right?
Crown Act, yeah.
Or Crown Act,
Some organizations that adhere
so
to it.
it's not federal yet. So we know that's going to pass eventually. I think so.
Well, not every state adheres to it. I believe it's federally.
What?
I'd have to look into it, but we can add. Well, if for those who are not aware about the
brings up
Crown
a whole
Act,
other thing.
we'll add in the link to it, and when we can do a whole episode on that as well. But
all right, what are some questions to consider for plastic surgery, regardless of your gender?
Yeah, so just for those who are thinking about it, or just like, well, what are thoughts that go into why people have cosmetic surgery, because maybe that's not something you've thought about. There's some cool questions that I found on plasticsurgery.org that says the first question out of the gate you should be thinking about is, why do you want the surgery? So for some of the meandering that you just heard from us, ultimately, you have to have a why, right? Like, this is an invasive, depending on what you go for. Could be invasive, could be even life-threatening, to be honest, because it's a medical procedure, right? So at the end of the day, why are you going to put your body through this? Why are you going to go through the recovery for all this? You need to have a clear why as to why you're doing it. And then another question, which is definitely critical, especially with all the like BBL surgeries.
I think the why is easy.
I mean, it depends. Like
it's easy because it's why somebody commented on my social media that I look terrible. I want plastic surgery. I'm not saying that that's right, but there's an easy reason to say why you want plastic surgery.
But that's that's a promulgation of someone else. Like, why do you just because someone commented?
I want it because I don't want people to talk garbage about me.
There you go. That's okay. So if you want to feel good about yourself and you feel this is a place that this is the barrier to you feeling better, then that would be your why.
Yeah.
But it could also be rooted in you've been made fun of this maybe your whole life and you're tired and sick and tired of this. Or maybe you feel like, you've gone through a weight loss journey and you have, say, extra skin and you want to do like skin loss. You want to get rid of the extra skin, right? There's a lot of different reasons. So just be clear on your why. Another good question to ask, especially as I was saying with like BBLs going wrong, is have you done your research? Make sure that you are, when you're thinking about plastic surgery procedures, regardless of the procedure, small, medium, hard, doesn't matter. Make sure you are dealing with credible people. So there's sites like the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, ASPS, that allow you to look up each surgeon's qualifications and read testimonials by real patients. That could be deeply important and deeply helpful and possibly life-saving to make sure that you're not doing something in some back room in a hotel or motel, right? That you actually go to a proper clinic with proper board certified physicians who can do the work that they say they can do, that they have, stats on their on the level of work and professionalism that they're doing, and that you're
stats, I think they need to have some pictures posted too.
Yeah.
Where you can see before and after, just to get an idea of their work.
It's so sad. Like, I feel like every month we hear about some new case about some BBL going wrong or some person getting some cosmetic surgery done, and it's like a hot mess going on, and they die or they're severely hurt from this situation.
It's always comes down to money, right?
It is super expensive.
You're going to get it for like a third of the cost.
Another question. Can you afford the procedure? Because guess what, y'all? Most cosmetic surgery is not covered by insurance, which means it's out of pocket. Do you have the 5 to 10 to 40 to 60, whatever amount of thousands of dollars that it is going to cost for you to do this? Now, again, regardless of what people think, like, oh, I would never spend $20,000. Booyah, whatever. Do you have the money? Because if you don't have the money, then that's going to put you in a situation or a bind where you feel like you're going to have to get alternative type of people to work with just to be able to afford the procedure. But then you risk if this is going to be a real procedure that will cost you your life. So
oh wow,
you got to be really careful about that. And then are you ready for the recovery? A lot of people don't think about this, but it's not just, I'm going to go in and my boobs are going to be perfect or my body's going to be snatched. But there's usually a recovery period depending upon how invasive the procedure is. And that recovery period is not like days. It can be actually several weeks. So do you have the time off from your job? Do you have the space and also the people to help you? What if you can't wipe your behind or turn around for 6 weeks? Like, do you have the support system in place to be able to recover from such surgery? So those are some key questions to ask yourself. And I hope you do, because again, you can probably hear our bias through our conversation on this topic.
There's bias.
But I mean, so we've done an episode on plastic surgery. I still stand by the fact that I think you should do whatever works for you to feel good. I mean, as a person who's been bullied my entire life. I think that, and people making fun of my body or making fun of me, I understand the desire to want to, quote unquote, improve yourself. But, you gotta weigh the consequences either way, whatever you do. So
I know you said quote unquote improve yourself, but literally you're changing yourself.
Yeah, you're changing yourself.
And now that's the fact.
The reality is we live in a society where, so for instance, I've lost weight, and I think people or society. I mean, I've still been commented, and I'm not apparently good enough for where people sit with. But at the end of the day,
not for everybody. You can't satisfy everyone.
I can't satisfy everyone. Even in my weight loss journey, I'm still too fat for some people or too disgusting for some people, and it is what it is. Maybe I'll always be disgusting for people. It is what it is. But people, will, it's hard to do things and then think about, sometimes I think people get so caught up in like what they want and forget about the consequence of what they're asking for or what they're about to do, because they're so obsessed with this like end result, and they don't think, wow, like I'm going to do this and I have a 30% chance of dying, or I do this and then I can never eat the same way for the rest of my life, or because if you do lipo, you can't go back to eating the same way you did, because you're going to gain back all that weight if you're
but that's
eating
not true. You can go back. That's what's cool about lipo. You can do whatever you want. Now with gastric bypass, you can't do that.
Yes,
but I don't know if that's considered a cosmetic surgery.
I know. I think that
I don't know what kind of surgery that's considered.
That would be considered cosmetic.
Because that's not an
insurance
outward.
Companies will cover
and that's not an outward. Or I guess we have to go by that.
Bariatric surgery and stuff like that. No, that would probably go under like a weight loss or.
That can go over something else possibly. I know. I haven't seen that as a cosmetic surgery actually. No. So that's not under there.
But so there's consequences for actions and inactions. It's a hard space to be in life.
But what about getting a BBL? There's consequences for that?
Well, that's the most dangerous surgery I've heard, because the problem is there's all these veins in your buttocks, and apparently it's really easy when they're inserting the fat that they can either puncture the veins or put things can go into these veins that then travel directly to your heart and cause you to have cardiac arrest. So it's one of the most dangerous procedures to put your
all they're doing is taking fat from your body and then putting it into your butt. But you have all
these veins in your butt apparently, and so
just
it's
don't
really
hit a vein,
easy.
Right?
But there's no way to tell. It's apparently
there's no way to tell, really. What if you're a master
or it's very easy to be able to puncture one of these veins, which then can cause issues for you.
Oh, okay.
By putting fat or air into those veins that travel to your heart, and then boo, you're dead.
It's a big procedure that is being done by women. I mean, there are men getting it done too, but
no, predominantly I think this is the ladies, because again, we're in the era of the big bottoms, right? Like everybody can't hardly wait to just have this big bottom, but it's are you willing to die for that?
Because you know what I've seen too? I've seen instead of the BBL, they put implants in the butt, but the implant can flip around and you get a flat butt.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I guess you got to go to the doctor and say.
Yeah, see, that's where I say I side with you on the because there are exercises you can do that will
you can really blow out your gluteus maximus.
Yeah, you can actually work it. I mean, every day I see TikTok videos show you how to grow your glutes.
It's a lot of work.
I would say because of the risk factor, I think that's the one thing I think if I could get that banned, I would ban that, because it's so cool. Just grow their glutes.
BBL is so cool because all it is eat as much as you want. And now you get a bigger butt when you do the surgery.
But you can possibly die from that surgery.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen.
And it's just seems so
say,
sad to me
it.
because there are mothers who have young children who are now dead because they've gone and done this. And now what happens to those babies? That's why
what I wonder is how many.
That's not okay.
Did you go to the top BBL expert?
But apparently it's just such a dangerous procedure that it really should not be performed.
Really? So yeah, I mean, to me, BBL, it's like so specific. I just wonder if you go to that top cosmetic BBL guy, how many passaways has he had?
I just think one death is too many. Like, every life is valuable and meaningful. And again, you go and tell that person's children.
Because if the one person that died, they're like, man, you killed me.
Do you want to be that person, right? Like, that's why I said, no, work those
So imagine this. I don't know if it's true. The top BBL expert has never had any deaths from a patient. I don't know if that's true. But imagine if that is true.
It's also hard because I naturally am biased because I genetically have a larger derriere. So for me, for me, it's harder for me.
I know that's not right because there are people that are.
But again, it's not the biggest behind on the planet. Like, so
I'm not talking about big.
Still work
there's
that
women that they're not of the bigger butt age. So what did they do? They just say, well,
you better squat.
You gotta exercise.
You better grow those glutes. You can grow those glutes.
But they're gonna have to eat hamburgers too. They want to eat their quinoa.
If it's meaning, the thing about life that is really funny, and everyone always forgets this, is if you really want something or someone, you will somehow find a way to do that or get them. Like,
technically
it's a reality of life. If you really want something, you will get it done. Right? Because every time you have to use the bathroom, somehow you go. Every time you need to buy something, you somehow find a way to get it. Life is all about those who, if there's a will, there's a way. Some way you will get it done.
But here's the key with life, and it's one word: sacrifice.
Woo! Get it.
See, that's all I was
Are
saying.
You willing to sacrifice?
So you gotta decide,
It's a yes or no for people. It's either way, make the choice.
Yeah, so the things I would say is that you have to think about the results. I don't think we brought that up yet, but
that's true.
What do you look like afterwards?
Dear.
Was that
And you're talking about after the healing and everything, after the swelling and all that.
Because sometimes it happens where you see it and you say, you know what, that wasn't quite as big as what I wanted. You know? Or maybe I'm not quite as slim and trim as I wanted. So, let me do this again just to get it down to that perfect ratio of 6-pack abs. Because my abs are looking more like a 4-pack. I want it to be 6 and almost looking like 8. If you want that, then it's going to mess everything up.
Even if you're willing to dock for that, potentially, yeah.
Well, you don't care about that. You care about the look.
That's
you're not thinking about death.
People are incredible, though.
I mean, you're paying all this money. You don't think about death when you're getting this done.
Wow.
And then, I mean, we talked about the costs. We talked about the risks. Another thing is, I think, in terms of healing, you got to think about is the follow-ups because it's not. So it's not just like, all right, I'm healing, I'm done. Technically, you do have to follow up with the doctor. So,
of course,
do you want to hear what the doctor has to say? What if they say, you know what, you might need another operation?
Round or something.
Yeah. Are you comfortable with doing this again? That's the question that's in your mind. Even if you're comfortable with the results, you might say, I don't want to ever do this again. That was painful because even though they give you, it's like some of these procedures have general anesthesia. Yeah. Like it's not.
Oh no, you wake up hurt. Right? A lot of times, I mean, you can watch.
Pain.
There's a ton of those shows, these plastic surgery shows, where they show you those things hurt. All of them.
I know, it's amazing.
Facelift, tummy, all of the, even lipo, like all of them hurt. None of them are. People don't walk out of that like, oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, don't say that was really.
Like, oh, that felt so good. Let's do it again. Definitely not.
Yeah, so it's just something to think about is your pain tolerance if you really want to do this multiple times.
So I know that's just a hard pass.
You have none, but you still have some tattoos, so that's good.
I know, but I screamed the entire time, and I screamed even when the markers just started. So I'm a real sad case, y'all.
Yeah, it's not even the needle. And,
ma'am, this is the marker. That's my level of pain tolerance. So there you go.
Exactly. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Duyin has had a pleasant sex life, but was told he could increase his penis size by 2.5 inches by his friend, who is a cosmetic surgeon. It would cost him $15,000 for this, and he will need 6 weeks to heal. Should he consider this procedure?
I love that you went with this option.
I know there's all these sort of options that you could choose from the universe. Right?
I mean, I don't even know how do I say this. Okay. So the increase of 2.5 inches. So like, is that going from like medium to large? Is it going from small to medium? Like, that to me is like a differentiator. Yeah, because if we're just going from like small to medium, I don't know if, I mean, I guess they're meaningful in either ways, either ranges, but I just...
Wow, so you think it depends what the starting point is for this?
Part of me really like that. That
matters. So that's
and then to weigh that with the cost of you know how much $15,000.
I know it's a lot of.
And also, like, what's his salary? Like, is he working at like a fast food job, and this is like it took him 20 years to save this money, or is this like is he a director of marketing?
Cash flow for
and this is like 2.5 months of salary. Like, I feel like I need to understand what his starting point is genetically, and I also need to know
genetically. That's so wrong. That's what you gotta know.
And I need to know what kind of salary he has, because those two answers would definitely help me decide if this is worth it. But without the answers, I would have to say...
it's just for considering the procedure. That's all it is.
To consider, yeah. So I think, yes, he could consider it, but I wouldn't sign up for anything unless I understood the answers to those questions that I posed.
Wow.
But then also, I just want to throw it out here for people. There's more to life than... the package that we come in, and ultimately someone who loves you is going to love you past your limitations and or quote unquote gaps and deficiencies, and there are different ways to make you more versatile person in the bedroom than just the package you're bringing to the table. So those are the things that I would say to address that scenario.
You need all that. See, that's funny. This question's easy to me only because the beginning part, he has had a pleasant sex life. That's all he needs.
But to me, you're a man, so of course you read it that way. But he has had a pleasant sex life. But have you asked his partners? Like,
but that's all a different question.
So as the woman, I don't know if his partners have felt that they enjoyed it. He may have enjoyed himself.
I can't speak as a woman, but what I've heard from women, it's not about the package. It's about how you use it and how you.
Of course,
the pre-surprise.
It's a whole situation.
Yeah, there's more. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. It's not automatically yes.
So basically, what I've heard is size doesn't matter to a point. Like, basically, what I'm saying.
But it does matter. Like I said, depending on what the starting point is.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's to a certain point. So if he's had a pleasant sex life and no one's told him, they haven't asked him strange questions, then he can think that I'm good. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Yeah, if they did that, then he might have to think about himself.
I want to name a show Strange Questions.
I'm thinking of like Doctor Strange. Yeah, it's like that.
No.
Strange Questions.
I'm thinking of Stranger Things.
It's what is that place called? The Upside Down. Yeah, if his if his junk is in the upside down, then I can't tell you what's going on there, but then people would have something to say about it. Yeah, the Morgans and stuff, but
you know what?
if you have all that going on, then you might want to consider having getting that thing fixed. But to talk with your preacher, your priest, somebody like that.
Christ compels you. Yes.
Or talk with your spiritual leader to be more...
1,000%.
That's the inclusive way, right?
Yeah.
Spiritual leader, if you're having some issues like that. But he's had a pleasant sex life. I mean, there's nothing that's pointed to why he needs to increase it. Why did you... I know as guys, you're always taught to have... the bigger the better. You gotta reach the moon, or else that's it.
Yes.
You're not doing the right thing. But realistically... I don't think he needs to consider this. Why?
Okay.
I mean, fair
enough.
The only way I would say is if someone has talked to him, if his doctor has talked to him.
As you said it perfectly. Unless you've had strange questions.
And then strange questions, that's a red flag, right? Then you say, oh.
I am absolutely producing a show called Strange Questions.
Yeah. That's the only way I would think. That's the only way I can think anything.
Strange questions.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm so done. Yes.
Scenario 2. Alona and Broomsick are social media influencers who look good in every photo they post. Neither Alona or Broomsick have denied having medical procedures. Alona tends to get haters commenting about her body being plastic, while Broomsick just gets haters saying he doesn't deserve Alona.
Wow.
Do you think there's a double standard for male versus female cosmetic surgery?
Oh, interesting. Well, as you mentioned earlier in the episode, there are opportunities with social media platforms and tools that allow you to take pictures as well as also the angles that you photograph that allow you to look more pristine or better than how you probably look in real life. So if it's not guaranteed that, or if they've denied having medical procedure and in fact they haven't had medical procedures, I don't think this scenario speaks to the double standard. I think itself, like based on the episode we've talked about, yes, there's a double standard because males who have cosmetic surgery are looked at differently than females who do it just because the beauty standards there's a double standard in beauty standards. Women are not allowed to age versus men are. So if men do it, it's kind of like, oh, he's being distinguished versus a female. It's like, oh, and that's so false and it's so unfair and it's so wrong. But I don't think that this scenario speaks to that because they've denied having medical procedures. There's no information being provided that they actually have. And just because they're social media influencers, it makes me think, oh, their pictures are just doctored because they've just, they know how to shoot well, or they use great filters and ... Yeah.
Now this brings up a thing I didn't bring up during the episode, but you should actually take a look, our WokeNFree Nation, at the before and after pictures of cosmetic surgery for male versus female, because what's interesting is if you take a look at the male before and after, sometimes it's hard to tell that the men have actually had the surgery. It looks like maybe they have just done workouts and stuff. Okay. But for the women, sometimes it can be a dramatic effect is the only thing I've seen. Like, you can take a look yourself. I mean, I can be saying it wrong.
But does that speak to the procedure or the type of, do men typically have less procedures done than women? And that's why maybe it's more drastic? Or do women typically get more drastic procedures than
I don't know
if
the procedure's drastic, but it's even if you look at a liposuction on a woman, because technically women hold fat differently.
Yeah, our body
men.
is
like how men
designed
hold fat. It's kind of interesting. It's like how men hold fat. Even after you get a surgery, it looks like you could have actually lost that by just doing exercise. Compared to women, sometimes the fat is laid out in a certain way where there's no way that could just have gone away, from working out. Like, it would look
just
different.
How we hold our fat.
Yeah, so that's why you have to look at it, because you should see these men, these after surgeries, sometimes you'd be like, oh man, they worked out and they got chiseled, but actually no, they did a surgery. So that's something to think about in terms of a double standard. I mean, sometimes people don't even know that the men had the surgery versus female. They said, oh yeah, you had it. And they might have been, there's a good chance that they're right. But men, I know that there's a little sexism going on there, but people don't even assume men to have the cosmetic surgery when they look at them. So, scenario 3. Siobhan likes her men with muscles larger than life. She thinks she's found her special someone for a lifetime, but he doesn't have the body she desires. Should she broach her guy about getting muscle implants so he can meet her wishes?
You're so foul, Khalil. You are so messed up.
Wow, I messed up.
I mean, I'm not even even just talking about it, but go right to muscle implants. Not even let's get a gym membership. We didn't even start in base 1. We just jumped all the way to the end.
Just get what you want. Why are you playing?
Just slap it in your body. Don't even try to work it out.
Don't play in the kiddie pool. Take a deep dive.
Jump right into the ocean.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
Smart. Okay.
Just go get the implants.
No, I don't think she should do this because if she really has found the love of her life for a lifetime, then she should love him as he is, and B, yes, love means loving people for how they are in this world. Does it mean that you can't improve? Of course you can still improve, but you cannot say you love somebody and you're like, well, honey, I mean, for us to be together, you have to get implants. That's, to me, seems wildly inappropriate. Really? It just seems wildly inappropriate. So I would say, no, I don't think she should broach her guy about getting muscle implants. I think what she should do is they both need to get a gym membership.
They both? We don't know anything about her. But
yeah, but she can't hardly come at him talking about what his deficiencies are, assuming that she doesn't have any deficiencies.
But what if she's there's no
perfect?
Issues with her yet?
Not perfect. No,
not perfect. But what if she's good?
Well, guess what? You can always be better, baby.
You could be better, but it's kind of it's
hop to it. But if he's working, she needs to be working. That's what a partnership is.
Does she need? I mean, we don't even know if she already is working, right?
Nope. Nope.
No, but I'm saying if she's already doing her thing.
Well,
then...
guess what? She can go to the gyms that have swimming pools and spas, and she can do spa time then when he's working out. If she is so fit that she doesn't need to do one thing, but I highly doubt that's the case.
Right.
So either way, get a gym membership, and if they really want to up the ante, get a gym trainer for him and work it out. Before we get into cosmetic procedure land, let's first try to work it out and do that for a year and then see where you're at. And if he still, unfortunately, is not, meeting the cut of what she wants, then broach that land. But don't jump into that
as the first thing.
Work it out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think she should say this is the first option. The first option is maybe the person can go to the gym and start taking the protein in and hopefully build muscles that way. The cosmetic procedure, like we talked about, the risk involved, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
If that's your first option, that doesn't make sense. Like, let's try to work out first. Then it doesn't work out, then you got to decide, are these muscles that important? And if they are, then possibly the implants could be a thing, but it shouldn't be the first thing at the top of your mind for somebody that you think
especially
you're
someone
with.
you say that is the love of your life. Like,
it's interesting.
Because what if he died? What would she say to herself? How could she ever forgive herself?
Forgetting those big biceps.
What if he died?
But what if he died with the big biceps in, though?
Okay.
He's
well, it really
buff.
helps because he's now dead. So now you have to buy a more expensive casket. How fun for you.
He's going to be nice and bulky in there.
Yeah, now you buried the rock. How lovely for you.
Come on,
how lovely.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
Life is precious, y'all, and we need to love on each other, and we need to tell each other that we love each other, and we need to focus on the good that it is to have somebody in your life, because when they are gone forever. And so,
what if they don't have that look though? Then it's like messed up.
I would rather.
Is it all about the look, or I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've been attacked for my body, and I know that people will come hard for people, for your body. But at the end of the day, there's more to life than how you look, and there's more to life than just the pretense of body image. We've got to get beyond that. People love each other for the souls that come within the package, not just the package. Should you work on presenting the best package you can? Of course you should. But at the end of the day, should you risk your life because somebody says, hey, I want you to, have a bigger, be able to flex on me more?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to make that decision for yourself. But I would say there's a lot that can be done in the gym. And if you can afford plastic surgery, you can afford a trainer who will work you out and then you can get a nutritional plan. If you can afford surgery, you can afford the lifestyle that gets you those muscles. And maybe the workout is hard.
It's the time though too.
It is the time.
Can you afford that time?
But if you can afford the surgery, you definitely can afford that lifestyle change. Yep.
The time.
Yes,
because
you can.
The surgery gives you that within a limited amount of time.
Recovery time though, right? So it's not immediate.
Recovery time, yeah. There's recovery.
It's not immediate, yeah. Well, with that, we are at that time again. It is coming to the end of our 304th episode of
WokeNFree!
Quite the episode discussing, is there a double standard for male versus female cosmetic surgery? So what should folks do now, Khalil?
They should come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
To pick up the energy, if you have a topic that you would like to suggest, you dropped it all the way low. We would love for you to share such thoughts on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. And again, on social, we'd love for you to engage with our content on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokenFree. And all sponsorship or collaboration queries can be shared with us on our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Till next time.
Keep flexing, y'all.